Hey everyone, it's time again to recap the latest news from the solar PV industry, compiled by the American Solar Energy Society. I'm Jay Warmke with SolarPVTraining.com, and this is what's happening in the wonderful world of solar for the week of February 9th. Now, according to current studies, buildings are responsible for approximately 42% of all global CO2 emissions, with the majority of these emissions coming from the running of systems such as heating, cooling, and lighting. Now, data indicates a watershed moment in climate science has recently occurred. Global building sector operating emissions stabilized between 2018 and 2022, decreased by 1% in 2023, and are projected to continue to fall according to the International Energy Agency. This achievement is particularly noteworthy given that the global building stock expanded by approximately 320 billion square feet from 2018 to 2024, the equivalent of the total building area within the United States. The amount of energy required to operate a building has declined steadily since 2010, dropping 13.9% as of 2022. These trends are expected to accelerate as buildings become more efficient and electrified. The power sector continues its transition to wind and solar and other renewable energy sources. Currently, about 55% of all global electricity generation comes from non-CO2 sources. Even more impressive were the decreases in CO2 emissions per square foot from 2005 to 2023. Residential buildings dropped by about 39.5%, while commercial buildings fell by over 47%. Overall total emissions from the U.S. building operations fell about 32%. All while the sector added roughly 70 billion square feet of new construction. Ask anyone who's skeptical about the practicality of renewable energy and powering the grid, and they're going to point out something to the effect that the sun doesn't always shine, the wind doesn't always blow. In fact, the reliability of renewable energy has always been a big concern. Well, a new study by the Journal of Renewable Energy looked at California's deployment of renewable power and came to the conclusion that renewables are much more reliable than previously thought. The study found that last year, renewables fulfilled 100% of the state's electricity demand on 98 of 116 days. Now, not only were there no blackouts during that period of time, but at their peak, the renewables provided up to 162% of the grid's needs for those days. The study compared 116 days in 2024 to the same period in 2023 and discovered California's output from solar was 31% higher and wind was 8% higher. Battery storage capacity within California increased more than 30-fold between 2020 and 2023, and then doubled again between 2023 and 2024. Now, in 2024, California got roughly 47% of its electric power from renewables. Currently, Suniva is the only company producing solar cells in the United States. They recently restarted production of their monocrystalline silicon cell plant in Norcross, Georgia. The Suniva cell plant has been inoperative since 2017 when the company filed for bankruptcy, but bolstered by the Inflation Reduction Act incentives, they reopened the facility in the fall of 2023. The cells manufactured at the Norcross facilities are the first to qualify for the 10% domestic content bonus tax incentive. The company plans to ramp up production to produce about 1 gigawatt of cells from this facility annually. Now, earlier this month, ES Foundry opened its silicon cell manufacturing facility located in Greenwood, South Carolina, to become the second cell manufacturing facility currently operating in the U.S. The facility in South Carolina is more than 400,000 square feet and on track to employ about 500 people by June of this year. The facility is expected to reach a shipping capacity of around 3 gigawatts by the third quarter of 2025. And Tesla Megapack and Powerwall battery storage deployments jumped to 31.4 gigawatt hours last year. That's up from 14.7 gigawatt hours in 2023. The company stated it expects storage deployments will grow an additional 50% in 2025. Now, this is a bit of good news for the company that was delivered at the same time Tesla announced that they're experiencing a 1% decline in EV sales in 2024 and 6% drop in total automotive revenues. Tesla's growth in stationary batteries mirrors the overall growth of the marketplace. Global energy storage installations are projected to grow by 76% in 2025, according to Bloomberg NEF, as demand increases and prices continue to fall. And that's the news from the solar industry for this week. We'll see you next week.